Hi GQ, Bryan Cranston here. Today I'm going undercover on the internet. Yes, it is actually me. Twitter. From Derpa's glass art, Bryan Cranston always take his pants off. Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad, man just wants to show his underwear. You know, I gave up on that a long time ago, and I'm just giving America what it wants to see, apparently. From King Mild, every time I see these two, they're always just hanging out. Did Bryan Cranston adopt Aaron Paul? He's young enough to be my son. No, we did clash a lot on Breaking Bad, but I love the guy. He's just a great human being. And we're business partners now in Dos Hombres. There is a rumor that we have matching tattoos, but that's not a rumor. We have matching piercings. Wikipedia. Cranston was ordained as a minister by the Universal Life Church and performed weddings for $150 a service to help with his income. True. I think I was 19 years old when I first started doing that on Catalina Island when I was spending my summers working. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize how easy it was to do that. You simply fill in the application, send it to the Secretary of State of whatever state you're in, and you are ordained. Bless you. Instagram. Will there ever be a Malcolm in the Middle season 8? I don't know if there's going to be a season, but we're talking. Everybody would love to come back and explore what those characters are doing 20 years later. So we're excited by the possibility that there will be a Malcolm in the Middle reboot, or maybe a film, or we don't quite know, but there's a possibility. It has to be something substantial and important. So we'll see. Reddit. Can Bryan Cranston play Hugh Hefner in a Playboy biopic? I'm looking at two pictures, one of me and one of Hugh, and there is some similarities. So I think the answer would be yes. And boy, the research would be fun. Bryan Cranston, I'd like to play Willie Nelson. We're both old and wrinkled. I think I said that on The Tonight Show recently. I think I was asked this just on the street from some interview or something like that. What famous person would you like to play? I don't know why, Willie Nelson. I probably saw a picture of him or something, and I thought, yeah, I could probably play him at my age now. I'd have to really strongly increase my marijuana intake, though. And now, something called Quora. How did Bryan Cranston come up with Walter White's voice from Breaking Bad series? I opened my mouth and started speaking. What I did is I patterned Walter White after my father, who was 30 years older than me. I felt that Walter White was older than his actual years, the way he carried himself, the way he was burdened by society. He felt like a much older man than he really was. So I thought, I think if I just take on the characteristics of my father, more rounded shoulders for an older man, a deeper voice, that'll do it. That'll convey what I'm hoping to convey. And then when he transitions into becoming Heisenberg, his shoulders go back, his voice goes stronger, and becomes more formidable to his enemies. I often get asked if I miss playing him, and I really don't. It's the feeling that you fully expressed yourself while the series was going on, and you spent it all while you were there. And I thought that Vince Gilligan wrote a beautiful beginning, middle, and end to that series. And so I didn't feel like I needed more. And then all of a sudden, he called me and said, we're doing this movie El Camino, which is the continuation of where the Jesse Pinkman character goes. I said, absolutely, I'll do whatever you want. So Walter White shows up in there. Then they do Better Call Saul, and we get a call for the last season, We'd love you to come in and do it. Okay, sure. Then I become Walter White again. Recently, we did a Popcorners commercial for the Super Bowl, and I'm playing Walter White again. So even though I don't miss him, I don't get a chance to miss him. He keeps coming back into my life. I think this character became so wonderfully and strangely iconic, surprising to me, that he's kind of separated himself from the rest of the things that I do. So I feel good about that. And it was one of the most important turns in my career to take on that role and to do that. It changed the trajectory of my career for sure. YouTube. Jonathan Cahoon writes in, would love to hear him talk about his role on How I Met Your Mother and what was up with his character's obsession with bushes, one of the funniest scenes of the whole show. Jonathan? I don't remember. I have no idea. I like bushes, apparently. Danielle King writes in, the cast of Asteroid City is insane. Margot Robbie, Tom Hanks, ScarJo, Bryan Cranston. I wonder if they all got along. They had to keep us separated. Asteroid City was what actors long for. It was like going to actors' camp. Asteroid City is the second film I did with Wes Anderson. The first one was Isle of Dogs. That experience was considerably different because in that one, you're behind a microphone. I was in a room with Wes and Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, and Ed Norton, Bob Balaban. I think we finished the entire movie in 2 to 3 days. We just rolled right through it. Whereas doing live action, it takes considerably more. And Wes, as you know, is very specific in his direction and his art direction. So how the film looks is equally important to him. Is it true that Bryan Cranston majored in police science in college? It is true. However, that changed. My counselor said you need to take elective courses, so I took an acting class. First day, I got a scene that read, a couple is making out on a park bench. And I thought, oh my God, this is crazy. My job in that class was to kiss this pretty girl. And it just made my head spin. You look back on it and it's like kind of embarrassing, but the libido of a 19-year-old boy sort of reset my direction of where I wanted to go in my career. And at a certain point, I realized, okay, if I'm really gonna do this, I better learn how to get really good at it. And if I were to give a piece of advice to anyone who is thinking of entering into the arts as a career, I would say make sure you're willing to make a lifelong commitment to that relationship. And if you're willing to do that, then you really should try. If you're not willing to say, I'm all in, then do it as a hobby. Well, that's it, GQ. I'm Bryan Cranston, and I'm signing off the internet. Thanks for watching.